Welcome, everybody. On today's podcast, we are discussing all issues affecting family, especially extended families. You know what? We are raising our grandchildren with the hope that we are giving them love, but then we are disarming their parents of the ability to be parents. So if you know what I mean, because I am guilty of this crime of disarming my own daughter of the ability to be a great mother to her own daughter, I want you to listen until the end. And if you know someone who believes, who is not able to be a parent to their own child, listen to this, and I want you to give us feedback and let us know how you feel.
Rise up and seize your moment. Grab it and strangle it with good intentions and don't let it go. Stop wishing and hoping for things to change, but make it happen. Get angry. Get so angry at your situation. Be desperate. Fight to get out. Cry, shout, scream, yell, I don't care. But decide to get up, to rise up and to move on. You have a life. Live it on your own terms.
So, I have a question. A couple of questions, actually, that I've been pondering on, especially after watching a couple of episodes of The Late on SABC2.
Oh, wow. When was the last
Two,
time
isn't
I
it on
watched
SABC
that?
One?
Well, I mean, it's on YouTube.
No. Oh, really?
Really?
Well, that's where I find it.
Yeah, oh, okay.
People go to the show who are really angry and hurtful and upset people. And at the end, I've realized that it's a lot of people who were raised by their grandparents
Oh, wow.
who end up somehow being a bit problematic.
Really?
Yes.
On the programs you've been watching?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes you find the situation is not really the best. I mean, sometimes it's just a situation where in the neighborhood there's that one, old lady or old couple that are just taking kids in and you just want to help raise whoever you can, And maybe their kids also have children and they have work to do and their lives to live. So, no, just drop off your kids here, and they live there. And then these children grow up very hateful, angry people at their parents.
Don't get it.
So sometimes...
Or they are angry at their parents.
At their real biological parents.
Not at the grandparents.
Not at the grandparents,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So, another thing that I've realized is that sometimes they don't even have a bad life living with the grandparents.
Yeah.
Other times it's a bit of a difficult situation.
Yeah.
But they never really hate their grandparents.
Yeah.
It's always their parents.
Wow.
So I've been trying to figure out why is that the case?
Yeah.
So the most common reason that the grandparents give is my child was busy or work was really far. And I just wanted, the child
When these
to be...
kids ask about their parents,
Yeah.
they ask their grandparents.
Yes,
About their parents.
Yes, this is now on the show. They're being interviewed by the presenter. Why did the grandchild live with you when their parents are still alive? Oh no, the parent work really far and traveling very far. Sometimes it's a domestic worker and they work in town somewhere and it's the rurals and the child must still go to school and all those things. So there's not really much time to actually take care of their child. So the grandparents were loving their children enough to help take care of their grandchildren. But in trying to love their children and help out, the real biological children end up really not understanding how is it that my parents are still alive.
And they are not with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's always, I want to know exactly if that really is love or if it's a one-sided kind of love or if it's an unhealthy kind of love.
On the part of who?
On the part of firstly and mostly the grandparent, I think, and also the biological
Let's
parent.
just say the parent and the grandparent.
Yes.
Okay, I will answer it this way. for the many grandparents, there is a model that that grandparents are growing up with. We are going up with it because back in the day, work was far. And so parents used to have to travel far to go to work, and so children were left with the grandparents. But now, many people live not so far from work. There is no traveling long distances. It's still happening, but not like it was back in the day. So then grandparents would take up the children. But the thing about that is, when the parents are not that far.
Can I also just link that from what you just said? My roommate last year had a daughter.
Yeah.
She gave birth when she was in matric.
Okay.
So now we were well, the daughter was 2 or 3.
Okay.
And when we moved to the place, she was fresh from home. She had never stayed away from home.
Oh, okay.
So every weekend she would go home.
Yeah.
For the first month.
Oh.
Wow.
After that,
She didn't.
she never went home.
Yeah.
She just did not go home.
Yeah. You see.
Like it all.
She would go like in the holidays when there was like 2 days
Now
left
she
of
had
the
to.
holiday,
Yeah.
so she can come back quickly.
Yeah.
School's opening, so
Yeah.
now you know.
Yeah.
So
I think what happens is when you don't have your child, when you for people who are young, they don't want the burden of. They really want the freedom of.
Being still young.
Yes, you're still young and you still want to live a little bit. And sometimes when people believe, I'm going to put myself there, when you feel you are a grandmother, you want to show that love to your own child by letting your own child the freedom that you probably did not have when you had your own child. So you want them to be free to live because you were not able to leave at that age. I'm talking about myself here, you see. So I am going to answer this question from my perspective using my own life for ease of reference. So now let's take I don't know the programs you've watched. So you take on the child and you live with the child. And then, remember I've told you that you could miss the needs of a child. The child is needing their mother. The child needs their parents. And you miss that. Because you're thinking, you're just a baby. What do you know? Because, number one, their parent is giving you money. They also believe they are paying you. So they are free to live their lives however they want it. And you don't realize as well that while you are enjoying the money, here is someone who is feeling bound in prison of, I do not want a grandmother, I want my mother. You see, it happened for us because that's what we were doing. For me, it had lots of angles to it. I grew up believing that my grandmother was the best human being since sliced bread. Because she was like the mother I looked up to. Because I didn't think that Meima qualified to be a perfect mother. She was okay. She was all right. She was a good mother. But grandmother had that hands-on looking after us type of thing. Just not the emotional connection. You see. So that side of her, the service kind of love that we got from her, that's what I wanted. And I wanted to give that to my granddaughter. It was when my granddaughter started saying, I don't want to call you grandmother, I want to call you mom. That I immediately realized that here's a human being who does not want what I want to give her.
Sure.
You see, and it had to change. Often we miss that. You see, you ignore it because you would be thinking, oh, what can we do? Or she doesn't have a place, or I don't have a place. I need that money. If I give her back her child, she's not going to give me back that money. But somebody is suffering here. Someone is suffering here. So many people miss that when they ignore the needs of the child. That's why we end up having angry, bitter children who are hateful towards their parents. It's because both parents both the parent and the grandparents ignored their needs. They are
So as the grandparent,
as the grandparent. Yeah.
where do your loyalties lie? With your own child or with the grandchild?
The grandchild. The
And
grandchild.
the biological parent, their loyalties obviously lie with the child they brought into the planet.
Exactly. My now.
So based on that question, how far back should a biological parent bend over backwards for the child?
Okay.
Say now if the child, the biological parent is in a
Yeah.
position maybe where they are working far
Yeah.
or something like that,
Yeah.
or they work a very hectic job,
Yes.
or they're still in school and
Yeah.
they're unable to actively look after
Yeah.
the child.
My belief is this. This is my belief and my experience as looking at children and how they grow up. And I believe this is a healthy way of looking at it. Every child needs to be with their mother in the first 2 years of their lives. Do you understand? That is the development stage of a child. They need the love and the warmth. They need to connect with their mother. They need to know their parent before the child can be given away to somebody else. You see, to look after. But a child still needs to know that they have a parent who is available. You see. So the parent's presence still needs to be felt. You see.
The parent singular or the parents? Plural.
Let's talk about the father now. Let's bring in the father, because the truth is our model of relationships are no longer the father-mother.
Our
models of families right now are so not the normal way where there's a father and a mother who are presently staying together, right? So then the whole attention is now on the mother who has brought the child. Because often we don't have access to the father.
And that's the model
right?
we now know.
Now
today.
this is the one that we are now
family is headed by a mother.
Yes. So unless the father is currently present and he's here, then we don't talk about him. So now we'll just concentrate on the mother using our example again as the right example to look at. So now a child has to. You asked something else while I was talking about so I was bringing the father. So the father again has to be presently available, felt by the child in the first 6 years of the child's life. Every child needs a father figure in their lives in the first 6 years to shape up their relationship with the male figure, to know that there's a father
who's going to come every December and we're going to have a good time over the holidays.
Whether he comes once in a while or whether there is a male figure around who still influences the growth of the child in the form of an uncle, which you have taken the role, a male figure who is present in the life of the child, you see. But that's not the luxury of other people, and I call it a luxury because really many people don't have that. You see, that is really sad. But
fatherhood has become a luxury.
It has become a luxury, honestly.
There's a message.
Okay, it's fine. You can still continue to watch. You see, so the truth is, while we hate acknowledging the pain that we are causing to our children, we are destroying the lives of our own grandchildren because of what we believe is love that we are giving to our own children. No, go leave, I'll look after the child, and there you are, and then often you are no longer happy because you can see, every grandparent can see, every parent can see when their child needs them. You see, you don't even have to see it physically, you can hear them talk. The minute a child, they start changing and they show a different side. The little games they play, what they are saying, you don't miss that. I don't miss that with Karabo, So it's very important. That is why we had to take Karabo back to her mother, you see, because I realized that we are not doing her justice, honestly. And
because you realized that what?
We were not doing justice to Karabo.
She needed her mother, and that was it. And I'm not her mother. You see, she made it very clear. She had to say that, Coco, I want you to be my mommy. And I had to say, no, Monica, I have got to be your grandmother. That's my role. That's who I am. And
So here's a question. What is it about? Okay, it's a two-part question, but I'm going to ask it as one question.
yes,
What is it about the mother
yeah,
or that the child needs? What is it that the child needs from the mother that the
they
child can't get from the grandmother? Basically, the question I'm asking is it that the child specifically wants that specific person, or could it be an outside influence of, oh, that child talks about their mother, their mommy. So therefore, I feel like I also need to have a mommy.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
and so hence maybe she's attributing that to you.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you must be my mommy.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's talking about
You're
their mommy.
using the wrong term.
You know,
Yeah.
because because
Yes.
isn't that what children generally
Yeah.
do when
Yeah.
one child has
Yes.
something, they also want it.
that.
So
yeah.
my question is, could it be that maybe the child feels they need the parent because everybody else seems to have the parent, so then they feel this lack and longing that no, but I also deserve to have what the other people have.
There's a difference. Again, I'm going to bring Karabo. When a child knows who their mother is, they always want their mother. You see, they are aware that you are the grandmother. I might be giving 150% of love. There is something that her mother gives, even if I don't think she's good at it, that her child needs. You see,
And the child
the
wants
child
it.
appreciates that and wants that. However, you think you are good as a grandmother, you cannot match the mother in the eyes of their child. You see, they are always going to have that 80% of what they want from their mother. And you might think you're all that, but maybe you are just carrying the 20% of what they want, what they need. You see, so
Even with your 80%.
even
effort.
with your 80% or whatever, so the child knows that I want my mother, and where's my mother? And Garabo is quite vocal. You see, she will tell, I want my mom, but and she will tell you for how long. You see, even when she goes to her mother, she'll tell me, Kuku, I'll see you after 2 nights. You see, when she's done with her mother, she'll tell her, now I want to visit Kuku. You see, it doesn't mean she's happy with both sides, but now we know that her side is that side of her mother. She should have more influence of her mother and not influenced more by her grandmother. We don't want to have somebody who will be telling her mother one day that you were not there for me. You see, because we see it, right? Because they don't understand it. And the truth is, when she's now 20 and says, wait, why didn't you stay with me? I want to know that. You see, the truth is, our reasons are all wrong. I'm not going to stay there and say to her, I was trying to model my own grandmother on your life. She's going to say, I'm a case study to you guys. You see, and her mother will really not have a reason. She doesn't stay that far, work that far, not to stay with her. So we are messing it up, and we are not even aware of it. You see, it's not that I am messing it up intentionally. It's not that Rhoda is messing it up intentionally. We are all, the two of us, are messing it up together here. And until we fixed it, like we just did, it was going to go down and weigh very, very heavily on influence, negatively impact all of us. So we needed to really shape up and straighten up and fly right on that part. Quickly, for the sake of the human being here with needs.
Sure.
Yes.
So what?
Do you remember your question, Nancy?
Yeah.
What you're saying is making me think of in first year. There was this case we did where this lady and this man were staying together, a young couple in their late 20s.
Yeah.
And they had a child together, and they, stayed together. They weren't married; they were just a couple, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then they were staying in Joburg, and the family of the girl was from KZN.
Yeah.
So when the girl died, then the family wanted to go and get her child.
Okay, the mother of the child died.
Yes, died.
Yes.
And so the family now wanted to go and get their grandchild. But then
who's now staying with the boyfriend of the mother?
Yes.
The deceased mother.
Yes, biological father.
Oh, biological father.
So the argument of the family was, you weren't married, so you can't give us our grandchild. You have no rights to this grandchild. But the court looks at what is in the best interest of the child.
Yes.
That is always what the court looks at. If the child is not old enough to choose, even if sometimes they might actually choose who they want to live with. But that's where you look at background records and salaries and stuff. Even if the child could say, I want to live with mom, and they see that mom is not really doing well. Your dad makes more money. Your dad can take care of you. You're going to have to end up living with your dad. So at the end of the case was decided on the basis that this child biologically belongs to the man. Yes, procedures and whatever weren't followed. That's a story for another day. But right now, the child needs to stay with the father. And even in American law, the one thing that you try to do is to keep the family together. The case of Gabriel Fernandez, who died at the hands of his mother and her boyfriend. There had been so many social workers called, over 8 times, many times.
Tell us the story.
Basically, he stayed with his uncles at first and moved from his uncles to
How old was he?
When he was born growing up,
the
mother wasn't really interested in raising him. She already had 2 other kids. A boy who was 12 and the daughter was 11. So she didn't have room for Gabriel.
Oh, wow.
So she wasn't really even interested.
Was Gabriel older than the 2?
No, he was the youngest.
Oh,
the last born. So she didn't have room for him. The uncle was very happy to take care of him. But after a while, the grandparents decided, no, he needs to come and stay with us. Yes. So after raising him for a while, the grandparents felt like it would not be healthy to keep this young boy away from his siblings as well, and his mother, and so let him go and stay with the siblings. So I don't want to get into the crux of the case and how he was treated, but there were a lot of social services were called and all that, and
because of abuse.
Yes, it was an abuse. The mother and her boyfriend were abusive to him.
Oh, wow.
They would call him all sorts of names. He came a very happy child because he didn't grow up there, and he didn't understand that. Okay, here you don't really talk much, you don't play much, you don't have fun much, just mind your own business.
He was himself.
Yes, he was himself. He was free as he was raised that way. So he really wasn't fitting in very much with his siblings who knew you don't talk, you don't ask, you just exist. And so 6 months later, he was beat to death.
Oh my goodness.
By his mother's boyfriend. What I'm saying is there were so many social workers called by the grandmother. Called by the teacher of Gabriel. I mean, they found a bullet inside his body. His mother shot him with a BB gun. So he just had a very horrible life. And my point is, so many social workers were called. Nothing was done. And the basis of that was the family law in the States, in this specific case, focuses on keeping the family together. You don't want to separate the child from their family. So in some instances, like in this case, that was not very smart. It was deadly. You cannot go to a house 8, 9, 10 times and see a child being reported by everybody under the sun, even security guards. They would be at malls. You would think, this child looks badly beat. What is wrong? So my point is, even the law tries by all means to keep the family together.
The truth is, that's how it should be, and it is every mother's responsibility to look out for their own child. But I want to mention that it is not everybody who is able to do something. Just because you were able to give birth to a child does not necessarily qualify you for that. Because often You find even fathers, you find people expecting certain things from their fathers and their mothers who are empty as far as giving the thing that is expected of them.
Even who?
You find children who are looking for their fathers and their mothers to do certain things for them, but these people are not able to do those things that they're expecting of them. You know, so you could be causing yourself more harm after chasing after someone just because you know them to be your mother, you know them to be your father. If they are not able to father, you have got to let them be. But this is now talking to people who are big, who are teenagers, who can make decisions for themselves, and big people, because sometimes a person can be an adult and still be stuck on my father didn't do this, my mother didn't do this. But today we are concentrating on the children who can't take care of themselves, who can't talk. This is now when a grandparent can come in. Sometimes you can even say, I am suing you for not being a perfect parent to your own child. You see, and I'm taking this child. I don't know about the South African law. You can tell us. Maybe you can take someone's child, your grandchild, if their parent is not capable, or some people just refuse to be. But the thing is, if you know the pain that the child is going through when they're growing up, and the question that they ask when they are able to talk and say, where were you? Was I not important enough to you?
Sure.
Was your job that important to you? Was your boyfriend that important to you? Was your freedom that important to you? Was I so irrelevant to you that I was just a byproduct?
You just dropped me on this planet
Did
and
you
bid
just
me farewell.
Yes. Did you forget about me? Did you hate me that much? These are questions that children are asking themselves, and we don't want you to get to that point where your child is wondering if you have ever loved them.
What does, sorry, that this was my question. What does said child do now? Let's say there's someone now in say their 20s or teenage or their 20s or something.
They keep looking
And now
for
they're
parents.
at this place and they maybe they know where their mother is, or they know who their mother is, and maybe they're living with a grandmother or an uncle or something. What does such a person, how do they deal with that? What do they do?
This is now
what must they do with
okay. This is now a psychological problem that they have to now go for counseling and all sorts of things, you see, because now they are dealing with something that is from childhood, a problem that has been created by people from childhood. If they are unable to move on with life and they're still stuck there, many of them will want to meet the person and say, what happened?
But what if they know the person?
That's the thing. You need to hear it from them. They have got to
so
tell
what you're
you.
saying is they must go to the person and try to speak to them about
Yeah,
it.
you need clarity. The truth is, you need clarity to heal. They need to heal. You see, and the
So what
only
if
way.
the elders, let's call them elders, the parent and the grandparent, maybe they are withholding information.
Oh, they always
Maybe
do.
because maybe there was something too hectic that was happening or
to the
something,
birth of the
and so
child,
they want
maybe.
to try and protect the
them.
child
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
hearing something that is maybe a bit too heavy for the child.
child.
At what age is the right age to let the child know? Say the child wants to know. Okay, let me ask this properly. Should the parents at some point sit the child down and say, child, this is why you didn't grow up with your mom.
Yes.
A, B, C, D.
Yes.
What age is that?
Yeah.
What is the appropriate age? And assuming the child asks earlier before that appropriate age,
Yeah.
should those parents tell the child
Yes.
the complete unhidden truth?
No.
Or
No.
should they shelter them a little
No.
bit, continue to lie a little?
Well, it's not lying. When the child is too young to handle the truth cannot be exposed to the child, obviously, because the child wouldn't be able to handle it. So they can tell the child if the child is asking and they are too young. You see, you tell the child that
For instance, if
we
the
will
mother was
explain
raped, this case like that, mother was
exactly.
raped, and
Of
the
course, you
child was
can't
asking,
tell.
where's my dad?
Yeah, you can't tell a 5-year-old something like that. You know, so you have got to find a way of telling the child something, but you work towards making sure that eventually the child will know the truth before they get too old. Because if you don't tell the child, some people will tell the child. You see, there's always that mean cousin,
Uncle
that mean
or cousin
uncle
or someone
or aunt, whoever, who will be swearing at the mother mentioning this.
Sure.
And you discover this by mistake, and you think, what? This is my brother, you know, my mom is my sister, or my sister is my mom, or something like that. A child has to be.
His uncle.
The monkey's his uncle. Yeah, but they have to come to a point where they reveal it when the child is old enough.
What is the appropriate age?
I think girls develop quicker, boys develop slower. Sometimes some people may look like they are big enough, maybe around 12, but also make sure that there's counseling involved, you know, because the child has to be counseled so that they are able to deal with the trauma if it is too
What would
traumatic.
counseling be for people who really think counseling, you need money to go, it's just an expensive thing? I mean,
Counseling is, you know, when you have to deal with the pain with a trained psychologist who is helping you deal with the pain. That specific pain that has affected your life, or that could affect your life going forward. Because we are talking about a child here, right? Yeah. The difference is when a person is now old, and then they.
what is old? From what age?
Teenage?
Let's say you are already working and you discover something like that, you still need counseling to deal with it.
Something like what?
The trauma that we are talking about of
That
discovering
my
the
parent
painful,
wasn't
that my parent was not here because of that you really need counseling for. You really need to go through therapy for things like that.
That
You
your
see.
parent wasn't here because of the rape, or that your parent wasn't here?
Whatever the
Both,
reason,
either.
yeah, anything that is painful, that is affecting you from your past, you see, that is making you have sleepless nights and heart palpitations, and you can't even wake up in the morning because you're thinking about something that has happened to you a long time ago. That requires healing in the form of counseling, and you have got to heal. And you've got to forgive. It is when things are spoken about that people get to heal. So the somebody has got to own up to something and talk about it. The grandparents everybody should apologize. We kept the story away from you. We thought we were protecting you, because sometimes you're trying to protect someone, but they don't look at it as protection. They look at it as you withheld the story. You were lying. It's not withholding the story to protect. You lied. You see, you lied. It's not really lying. Sometimes, back in the day, things were not looked at the way they are right now. Back in the day, life was normal. Everything was going on normally.
Just mind your own business.
Yes.
So
Even things that right now are looked at as hectic, back then it was life. You see, so they could have not said anything about it because that's how we grew up, that's how life was. But then people could look at it differently now. Today, you see, it is when we learn to apologize and really, really own up, even if we didn't know how bad our actions were.
Even if you meant well.
Even if we
dear
meant
grandparent.
well, because we really do try to, we think we mean well. Our grandparents thought they
come from a
meant
good
well.
place.
Yes. So we have got to get to a point where we apologize. We messed up. We messed up a person, and we apologize, we confess, and the child has got to hear it from us that we really messed up. So we are really sorry. And to heal, allow them to heal. However long they take to heal, we don't press on them.
Just
You
get
have to
over
deal
it.
with it now.
Get
You know,
over it.
Walk it off.
you know, yes. And it
Stop
happened
whining.
in the family of whoever. You see their child behaving like you.
You ain't the first, you ain't
Yeah, you won't be the last.
So what happens now with a parent, a child now being introduced to a parent they didn't know, an existing parent? What is the right way to do that? Do you just hoist them on the stranger that, oh, ta-da, this is your father? Or would
You know
or
what?
do you incrementally introduce them like, oh, this is so-and-so, and then they get used to the person, and then after a while you're like, oh,
By the way,
so yeah,
No.
ta-da!
Oh, no. I believe the way, I believe Karabo is like the best model we have. As
the
far as
only
how,
model we have.
the only model we have of dealing with things, yeah. How I introduce something hectic to her, I don't say it when it happens. I build her up. You know,
Yeah.
I build her up to something.
You tell her first, even if she doesn't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She and if she's busy and she doesn't want to hear me, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then 5 hours later, so remember we talked
spoke
about
about
this.
this.
We said, oh yeah, you did say that. What's that?
Yeah.
So now you give more information.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. She goes around. Tomorrow you bring it again until she gives you attention to listen to. She now knows that this is serious. Okay, what's going on? You see, because when a child, when something hectic is placed on you, it's not good.
Yeah.
When I was
a big
sick,
change.
yes, when I was sick in hospital, she could not deal
Yeah.
with the fact that where's go mom, and she didn't want her mother. You see, because there was this big change. Imagine if I died. You understand? I'm so
And
thankful
she
that
wasn't even allowed in
to
hospital
come in
see
and
you.
see me in hospital, and I was not even able to go walk to where she was. You see, so I was heading in there, and she was heading outside, and she wanted to talk to me, wanted to feel my things, and so can you imagine her mother experiencing all of that and telling me I was broken when I hear all of that. So now you work them slowly. You work them slowly. You let them know your father's coming. But you don't throw it like that. You start telling stories of daddy.
Yeah.
You start introducing daddy so that they warm up to the idea of something called a daddy. Or your mother, this. You bring the stories,
stories,
memories
funny
of
stories.
what a daddy, whether you're bringing your own daddy or something daddy, you start talking about
If
daddy.
you were
Not-
privileged
not-
enough to
Yeah,
have
to
one,
have one,
the
yeah.
luxury
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
life.
but not sad stories. I won't see
No. Oh no. Exciting things about the model of what a daddy is. We are using a daddy as an example, right, Papa? So then you start introducing that beautiful story, and you are selling this like a salesperson, this idea to the child. And then when they are ready, you can tell when now they are pumped up and excited and ready to buy. Now you pounce on them. So now, here's the story. You're going to meet your daddy. They get excited. They will get excited.
Mine?
They will
Really?
get excited.
Like the one you were talking
In the
about?
same way, you still sell the daddy the whole idea.
Yeah,
The
I was
same
going to
way.
say that. I was going to say that.
Of meeting
Because
their
what if you
child.
sell this idea to
Yeah,
this child,
yeah.
and then the daddy comes and
I
he's
know.
nothing like the stories you told.
No, you have got to do the
Sure.
same with the daddy.
But can I ask, is it really fair though that you would have to train the father to be prepared to meet the flesh of their flesh?
That is
think
the
so.
painful scenario.
Paradox of it all.
The reality of our lives. Everybody has got to be trained to be meeting their own children and how to
Sure.
live their lives. And you made them, and it was you are gone. So now when you meet them, it is real. We have got to deal with it. You see, it's happening. So now you have got to train the daddy. You introduce him to the child, but you work him wherever he is over the phone. If this is what you're going to do, this is the time. send pictures. You make sure that he is coached, she is coached, everybody's coached. When they meet, they click. Because you could
Now
mess
they're
it up.
meeting on common ground.
Now they are
coming
meeting on
with
common ground, and
their own
and there is someone that they
mediating.
both trust, that they are mediating. You see, a mediator who they both trust, both of them. And you don't leave them alone. So, wow, what a topic! It was a hectic topic, this one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, yes. Whew. If you are raising your grandchild because you believe that your own child is unable, or you don't believe that they are capable, believe me, they are capable. But if you don't know how to do the shift, and let me help you bring order and alignment so that nobody blames the other later, so that we are not paying hefty amounts in counseling to try and fix a problem that we can fix now when people are still young, when children are still young. Every kid needs their mother. And to you, my daughter, my beautiful girl, Sarah, Mary, whoever you are, if you are able to have a child, you are able to look after your own child. And to you, fathers, if you are able to send all that money, you are able to be a father. We want you to have access to your own children. Your own kids are desperately looking for fathers out here. They are just looking for anything that's wearing pants to be their father. Let me help you fix your life, one family at a time. We love you. We'll see you again next time. Please comment on the comment section and let us know how you felt about this topic of today, and if it is helping you in any way. And I look forward to hearing from you. We'll hear from you, and we will see you again next time. Much love from me and my family. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.